I could not imagine feeding my dogs this crap. What do you bet the first ingredient is? I bet it's corn. Let's see. Ground yellow corn. Ground yellow corn. It's for the dog that's on a corn-based diet. I would never give this to my dog. This is even worse. This is for your cat. It's full of corn. Pretty sure it's corn. Yes. For the cat that is on a corn-based diet, the main ingredient, corn. For your cat? I wouldn't be feeding them this shit either. Kit and caboodle. Don't do it. By the way, boy, there's a lot of food down here. That Beneful dog food that Purina puts out, that stuff's horrible. It has artificial coloring in it. Why would a dog care? Why are you just going to give the dog stuff with coloring in it? Oh, look, it looks like a carrot. My dog will like it. Oh, look, there's a pea. It's food coloring. It's not good for your dog. So, one of the worst dog foods. That pedigree's not so hot. None of them are good. Dry dog food. Oh, by the way, while I'm on the subject, if you're feeding a pet food that has raw, you know, raw in the name, it's not raw. You're feeding something that's just as bad as this. I'm not kidding. Oh, grain-free? It's just as bad as this. Instead of corn, they use potatoes and shit. I had a Starbucks experience. It happened in Manhattan. I'm sure it's happened to other people too. I can't remember how I looked, but many times my hair is real long. I make art, so it's a very good chance that I look kind of grimy. And I went into Starbucks. This is on the Upper East Side. And I asked to use the bathroom. And they said, bathrooms are for customers only. And I said, I gotta use the bathroom. I'm gonna get something, but I gotta use the bathroom right now. You know, I'm 53. I gotta use the bathroom. And she looked at me and said, well, you'll have to buy something and then I'll give you the number to the bathroom. It was like a key-in thing. You know, like ABC, I think it was ABCD, ABCDEF or something like that. It was real easy to remember. So I said, okay. So I bought something, right? I left it on the countertop, went to the bathroom, and then walked out. And I think I said something like, you're a fucking asshole on my way out. I've worked in Manhattan. I was a bartender. And if anybody came in to the place that I worked at, everybody, and they asked for the bathroom, everybody said the same thing no matter what the person looked like. It didn't matter what they looked like. It could have been a homeless person. They said it's right downstairs. It's the fucking bathroom, for God's sakes. Somebody has to use the bathroom. That should be a law. It should. It should be a law. That if you're in some city or something and it's a public restroom, you can't have a reason to say no. They should be allowed to use the bathroom. I'm not saying somebody, I don't think that, you know, it should be an open invitation to people that like don't have a place to live to like, oh, well, let's just go and bathe in Starbucks or something like sponge bath or something. That's not what I'm saying. But if somebody wants to use the goddamn bathroom, you allow them to. And you know what? On that rare occasion that, you know, at the Cowgirl, somebody would come in and dirty up the bathroom, we'd send whoever was on busing to go down there and straighten it up. If it was really that bad. But I can't, you know what was the worst bathroom? Was the women's bathroom. And it wasn't homeless people making a mess out of the women's bathroom. I'm not making this up. at the end of the night, if you compare the men's bathroom to the women's bathroom, I swear to God, you wouldn't believe the stuff that was on the floor. You couldn't just like walk in there. There's, you know, I don't know what women's deal is with public restrooms, but they really dirty them up at a bar. I mean, absolutely disgusting. Everybody should be allowed to use that. That's common decency. You're going to tell a homeless person that they can't use the bathroom? I'm using the extreme, right? No, you need to go, dude, you know, like that. No, please. Please. It's absurd. These dudes, I heard them this morning, they got kicked out of Starbucks. Young dudes, come off really well-spoken and intellectuals. They just happen to have been black. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. That's the thing that I want to say about the people that work at Starbucks. They're on a power trip. They didn't want to give me, you know, granted, they might have not liked the way that I looked, okay? They might have thought that I was a homeless guy. But the point is that they're on like this power trip. We hold this power. We only have one power in Starbucks. That's to keep people out of the bathroom. Or kick them out if they don't buy something. And they probably, you know, oh, let's look, there's two black dudes there. They're not buying anything. You know, you two guys got to go or else I'm going to call the police. That was said to me, I wouldn't leave. Those guys had every right to, it's Starbucks. It's like going into McDonald's or something. You're waiting for somebody to meet you. You know? We're just waiting for my friend. No, that's not good enough. You have to leave. You wait outside. You know? You wait outside. Each one of these dudes will probably get $1 million. And they should. They should. They should get $1 million. It's clear what that is. That's Starbucks. Those are those people. There needs to be new training. Those are people making judgments about the way people look. No, you can't use the bathroom. You have to go if you're not going to buy anything. Oh, wait a minute. Is there a time limit? I just want to sit here for 5 minutes. You know, I got a bad heart. I'm sitting down. You know, I just got to rest and then I'm going to get up and get something. No, get your ass out of our Starbucks. You can't wait here. I was looking at the menu. I was deciding what I wanted to get. No, you need to do it outside. Get the fuck outside. That's Starbucks. That is Starbucks. The only time I have ever bought anything from Starbucks, this is true, is that day that I bought something, left it on the counter, and as I walked out, told them that they're fucking assholes. Why would you go, if you want coffee, why are you going to Starbucks? Find some, in New York City, you have many options. You can go get an espresso, a latte, any place. You don't need to buy it at the McDonald's of coffee. Is the price better? I don't think it is. Isn't it expensive? I think what I bought seemed to have been expensive. Starbucks. You know, I run into this a lot. People judge me by the way that I look pretty good today, though. You know, this shirt I was wearing yesterday, but I don't give a shit. That's my point, is I don't give a shit. But I run into this. I'll run into somebody that makes some kind of judgment about me that works at Walmart, you know. It's like people that have never had power in their life. You give them power, it goes to their head. Sort of like cops. The cop that doesn't necessarily get good grades or isn't popular in high school, all of a sudden they have this power and it goes to a lot of their heads. I'm not saying all of them for sure, you know, in the big cities more so than like small towns. It's just a fact. I'm not, if you're a cop and you hear this, I'm not going off on you in particular. And I'm sure that not all of the Brooklyn cops are dicks. And not all of the New York City cops are dicks. I'm not saying that. But in these big cities, there's clearly a problem, and a problem is just that. You take the person that's never had power, you give them power, and you put a gun on them. It's a recipe for disaster. That's why if you're ever dealing with a cop, yes sir, no sir, do whatever they say. Don't ever argue with them. You might end up getting shot. It really is. It's a similar thing to, you know, power really fucks up a human being. You take a perfectly normal person, you give them power. This is a psychological fact. You give them power and they start abusing it. There was a study done, I think, at UCLA, I think, where the study was done. And they took students, and on one side of the window there was somebody that was wired up, and then on the other side there was the person that can control the person that's wired up by shocking them. And what they found out was, like, it ended up being like the slightest infraction that the person was just getting shocked. I'm shocking them, fuck it. It's human nature. It takes a very controlled type of person to be a cop. It does. And be a good cop and not do anything, you know. And it also involves a lot of training and telling the person, like, look, you know, you're going to experience this. You need to keep it in check. It's just a fact. There's no training. There's not enough training for cops. And there's clearly not enough training for people that work at Starbucks or Walmart or any of these situations where you give somebody a little bit of power. Even the person, the security guard with the walkie-talkie, there we go. I have power, I'm calling Joe, and we're kicking you out of the mall or whatever. That never happened, by the way. I never got kicked out of a mall. And I don't think that I ever got kicked out of, I've never been kicked out of anything like that. Maybe an antique store about, oh, I don't know, it was a long time ago. But they looked at me, it was a Polish run. It's a Polish run antique store. And I had been working at an animal shelter. I was filthy, I was gross. But I had money. And they instantly were like, no, you gotta go. You gotta get out of here. They were judging me by the way that I looked or smelled. Okay? And that's another thing. If somebody stinks, you have no right to say, you smell, because it's your opinion that they smell. You can't kick somebody out of anywhere because they smell. If they wear diapers and they hadn't changed their diapers and they took a dump, and you work at Walmart or you work at Starbucks and you're like, you know, I'm sorry, sir, but you didn't change your diapers and you smell really horrible. You need to leave. You can't do that. You can't do that. Maybe you could call an ambulance and they could put them in the back and they could get their diaper changed. But you can't say, you stink, get out of here. Human beings, this is true, human beings have less compassion for their own species. It's fucking weird. I know people that will feed a homeless dog or cat. Or there's the homeless dog that smells, has feces on it. They'll bring it in, give it a bath, they'll try and help it. But they would never do one kind thing for another human. It's horrible. It's horrible. This planet that we're on, it's the only thing we got. But it ain't so great. And human beings aren't so great to other human beings. I could go off on this and talk about this all day, and I'm going to stop talking about this. But there's so many human beings that are just out for themselves. Gee, I can think of one right off the top of my head. Who do you think I'm talking about? But it's always about them. How much money can they acquire before they die? Who cares? Who cares? It's like sport to some of these humans. It is. Putin, Trump, I mean, how much money do you really need? You're going to leave the planet. So it's just sport. Like the guy that has, one of my friends in college, his dad was a lawyer. He did pretty good. And he had some kind of bumper sticker on his car that said something to the effect of, the person that has the most toys before they die wins. That's a general attitude, and, you know, my friend was laughing about it. Like, that's my dad. He's very, you know, he's about acquiring things, including money. It's just fucked up, man. I hope that the guys that were in Starbucks that got kicked out, I hope that they're not talking to the CEO. I know that the CEO wanted to talk to them, but there's no need for them to. What they need to do is just get a lawyer and sue Starbucks. Don't drag it out. Just settle out of court for something reasonable. You know, I said $1 million, you know, on Twitter and Facebook, like they deserve $1 million, but, you know, take 350, 500,000 and just be done with them. It's fucked up. Speaking of pet food, Rachael Ray Nutrish. Don't feed your dog that crap. Don't. That woman is a fucking idiot. And I'm telling you, my friend Jinian, she likes her, okay? And that's her prerogative. She thinks, well, she's probably a nice person, right? And that's sort of how she comes off. But as far as animals go, she's not helping and she's making garbage. She's making garbage, pet food, and so it's all about money. She didn't know anything about pet nutrition. And I'll tell you something else. I saw a commercial of hers today, and it's of a dog. Okay, here's the picture. The person's laying in the bed, right? There's a thunderstorm, and their dog is laying across them. This is a pet food commercial, right? Like the human's afraid and the dog's keeping them calm. The dog is laying across the human. It's dominating the human. Come on. We have 4 million dogs dying every year, and then this asshole puts out commercials with dogs doing things like that. It makes it acceptable. Not only acceptable, but desirable. And putting like this anthropomorphic thing on dogs that doesn't exist. Your dog shouldn't be laying across you. Even if you do that with a puppy, okay? A young puppy, and you put it on your chest. You're influencing that dog to dominate humans. It's in a dominant position. This asshole's selling pet food, making millions, okay? And she made a kibble. She made a kibble fucking diet for dogs. What the fuck? You're all about food. Why didn't you make a good raw diet? Why didn't you do something like that, Rachael Ray Nutrish? That's fucking bullshit. It is. It's bullshit. She could have looked at Abity, saw what Abity puts in their dog food, and made something like that. No, she made something comparable to Purina or any other kibble-based diet. It's fucking horrendous. I heard her talking once. She said, well, I didn't know anything about dogs, and I was giving them people food, and then I found out that that's not healthy for dogs. Oh, really? Okay, so you found that out, and now you're the expert on dog nutrition. I don't give a shit if she's built like a blueberry. That's her fucking business, okay? And I'm sorry, Jinian, if you see this, but she's an asshole. She is. She's an asshole. She just is trying to make more millions, and that's it. At the expense of dogs. There's nobody that, you know, is in the dog world, and that's what she is now, that should ever be, saying something with advertisement that could be harmful to dogs. You think I'm making a big deal about this, that the dog is laying across the human. It's just a commercial. There's 4 million fucking dogs dying every year. I'm a dog trainer. People don't get it. That's not helping. If you're in the dog world, you should fucking know better, Rachael Ray. Jesus fucking Christ. Seriously. By the way, I'm sorry, but it's a stupid name.
Rachael Ray Nutrish. It just bugs me. Why isn't it Rachael Ray Canine Nutrition or something? No, it's Rachael Ray Nutrish. Oh, okay, EVOO. Shut the fuck up, Rachael Ray. Seriously. Where does this woman get off? Like, you know, oh, I'm going to put out a pet food. I just found out that people food isn't good for dogs. So now I'm going to make a good pet food and sell it to people. That's fucked up. It's fucked up. If she fucking did her fucking research, she would know that the best kind of diet to have is a raw diet. All she'd have to do is get a bunch of chicken leg quarters and start grinding them up and giving it a real low fiber profile. Just like a couple green beans, you know, or some spinach, and bag that stuff up frozen, making sure that there was enough calcium in it, checking it. That would be awesome. Put a little liver in it, maybe, a tiny bit. That would have been good, Rachel. No. You had to make a kibble-based dog food that's cooked in an oven, and everything that was good about it is destroyed. So you have to put more vitamins in it after the cooking process is done, making your stupid fucking kibble. It's a joke. It's a joke. All this fucking marketing for dogs. It's billions of dollars we're talking about. And people, oh yeah, you love dogs? Rachael Ray, you love dogs? You sure you don't love money more? Sounds like you love money more. You could have loved money, but gotten, you know, a good recipe for a raw diet and figure out some way. Yes, it would be more difficult because you'd have to ship it frozen, Rachel. Yeah. But you could have done, you have enough money, you could have done advertising about raw diet, and this is the most natural diet. It's easier to get your dog housebroken on. There's so many reasons to do raw diet. No, you had to make a kibble diet. What an idiot. Here's something else about Rachael Ray's dog food. I'm going to be presumptuous. I'm going to stick my neck out, and I'm going to say that, yes, there is food coloring in her dog food. And I have a feeling that it's sort of similar to Beneful. That's a guess, in that it has things in there that the human can see, and, you know, their human experiences make sense. So, like peas, or like it looks like a blueberry or something. She might even have dried blueberries in there. Now, you could give your dog a blueberry or two, but the point is, they don't really need vitamin C. They don't. They produce their own. Shit like that is in there, like when we're talking about Beneful, like they make something that looks like a carrot, and then the human sees it. It's all marketing. It's probably not even a carrot, but it's orange, or there's something that looks like a pea, and then the human is thinking, oh, that's all vegetables. That's good. That's good to give your dog, right? Dogs and humans don't eat the same thing, okay? And I'm sorry, but this nonsense of like cooking, they shouldn't eat anything cooked. It's a fucking dog. Do you all know, anybody know? I know that there's people watching this that give their dog food, right? That's cooked, okay? You know human beings are the only animal on this planet that cook food. Why would you be cooking it for a dog? That's not what they eat. Come on, what the fuck? This doesn't make sense to you. You want to keep giving your dog kibble. So the dog eats the kibble, and then the dog has to hydrate the kibble once it's eaten, and then the dog, you know, drinks all that water, it expands, and it's harder to housebreak them. They drink unnatural amounts of water. Dogs that are on raw diet, they drink way less water. It might take a while for them to sort of like drink less because they get in a habit of drinking a lot of water. Like let's talk about Bella. Bella's on a raw diet, and she's been switched into a raw diet, but was on dog food before. So Bella still is in the habit of drinking a lot of water, okay? But if you start them when they're young, like puppies, like that just sort of like goes, they just drink less water. They don't need it because they're getting hydrated perfectly when they eat like a chicken leg quarter. That's how a dog, you know, would generally get hydrated, was through, what the fuck was that? I think I saw Bigfoot. From eating, you know, kill. It's a fact. Put your dog on a raw diet, you'll see. That's why it makes it so much easier to get a puppy housebroken. They're not drinking too much water. They don't have food that's expanding inside them, right? When that dry dog food expands, do you see what I'm saying? It pushes out. That's why you never mix raw and pet food. You don't transition the dog into raw. You just stop giving the pet food and start giving the raw, and you will not. Your dog shouldn't have diarrhea, I'll tell you that, if you're doing it right. You know. Oh, by the way, it's not called a raw meat diet. If you're giving raw meat and you're not giving bone or a substitution for bone, like calcium, your dog will get diarrhea. That's a fact. So know that if you think you're I'm gonna go to the store and I'm gonna put my dog on the raw meat diet, you're gonna fuck everything up. You're gonna make your dog sick. Also, your dog needs more calcium than a human. Bone is part of their diet. So you have to add calcium. Unless you're like giving a chicken leg quarter. If it's big chicken leg quarter, there's probably enough calcium in it. They eat the bone, okay? Poultry bones are hollow. It's easy for the dogs to digest. Wake the fuck up, seriously. I just saw Michael Avenatti, Stormy Daniels' lawyer, pretty much saying that they're going to file charges against, or file papers against Trump for defamation. And they're doing it, check this out, they're doing it over one of his tweets. One of his tweets was saying that it was all made up, blah, 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 retweeted something of a picture of Stormy Daniels with her ex. And her ex, honestly, sort of looks like this sketch. You know, it looks like the sketch of the guy, okay? But the sketch of the guy, there's a lot of people that sketch could look like. It's a dude that has like a real cut jaw, you know, that kind of look, you know. I don't know. It could be Shep Smith. It could be, you know, it could be anybody. That's the point. So he's pretty much calling Stormy Daniels a liar now. Now he's talking about Stormy Daniels and calling her a liar. And I'm getting the impression that, well, Trump just fell into another one of her lawyer's traps, you know? I mean, come on. They could have, like posted a picture of a leprechaun, and Trump would have probably done the same thing. Like, Trump is sort of predictable. Like, you knew at some point he was going to start commenting on Stormy Daniels, and he has. And he can't shut up. Now, I tweeted to Stormy Daniels when I saw the picture that Trump tweeted. You know, the picture of her with her ex. And the ex really does sort of resemble, you know, he's like this guy with the jaw. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's sort of like that. It looks a lot like the guy, okay? But once again, it's a artist rendering from a description. I thought two things. I didn't say this in the tweet, but like, maybe it did happen, and maybe because that was somebody she's involved with, that the description of the guy is something in her subconscious. Also, maybe, just maybe, somebody did say that to her in a parking lot, and the guy sort of looks like her ex, and that he has like a real cut jaw, you know, that you know, European look to him. It's very possible. I know people that look like other people. You know, they sort of resemble other people. she said that when she went into this is driving my friend Ginian crazy because she just thinks it's a joke. She said that she noticed the person right when she was in the lot, like, you know, she thought, I got the impression like she thought that he was good looking or something to that effect from shit that she said. Yeah, he looked like he was taken, like he was one of the fathers or something, like, you know, it was somebody's, you know, husband. You know, what are you gonna say? Trump certainly shouldn't be calling her a liar, you know. He lacks common sense, even if it's all made up by Stormy Daniels and her lawyer. The fact that Trump is so stupid is proof that he really shouldn't be president. A lawyer would tell you, don't say a fucking word. He can't shut up. He can't. You want a president like this? This guy's horrible. Poor Nikki Haley, you know, being thrown under the bus because Trump changes his mind. I hope she primaries that guy if Trump is even around. You know, I hope she does. Trump is horrible. I'm sorry, man. This is not. It's nothing that. Did you all really sign up for this? This is what you want. You want a president that lies habitually. You want there's no policy. It just changes, you know. He could say one thing one day and then Nikki Haley, you know, she's being looked at as like, God, what did they say about her? She's mistaken or something? Yeah, okay. Sounds like Trump changed his mind. Or, not changed his mind. More than likely, it's about Russia and that, you know, them doing more sanctions, which have been called off. They've been called off. Trump heard it and had a fit, supposedly, because Putin has fucking compromise on the guy. The P-tape, it is possible. It's possible. He flips out. He's like, no, not, you know, cussing at the TV. Not more sanctions on Russia. They got something on the guy. What it is, we will find out, I'm sure. If it's I'm telling you flat out, if it's the P-tape, if we find out that there's a P-tape, I'm going to gloat. Also, if we get some kind of confirmation that they paid off other women and there was a baby involved at some point, you know, I'm going to gloat. Are you crazy? Evangelical freaks. That's the way I see it. Like, how can you... Oh, okay. So these are the morals that we need to have. But our president doesn't need to have them. What, as long as the president is saying, you know, he's pro-life, that's good. Don't you weigh out everything? That's what it seems like the Republican Party has really turned into. Either it's people that just vote one way because of their pro-life or they're pro-gun. I'm pro-gun, but I'm not pro-NRA anymore. I'll tell you that. Just because the NRA backs somebody, fuck that. They have proved themselves to be a shitty organization. It's the truth, man. What's the matter with you all? You're still backing this guy. Wake up. You're being lied to. Stop watching Fox. You know about Sean Hannity, right? Doesn't the whole thing just reek? You don't care. Okay. I will gloat, by the way. I will be gloating if he's impeached or resigns or the P-tape comes out. I will gloat. I will. I didn't vote for him. I'm Republican. I wouldn't have voted for him. Are you crazy? I'm not going to just vote for... Oh, he's Republican. I'm going to vote for him. Fuck that. He lies. He lied about fucking Obama for fucking years. The birther thing. You remember that? Sort of like Pizzagate. Remember Pizzagate? It was fake news put out by Russians. There's people that still think Pizzagate was real, don't you? Well, it's not. There's people that still think that Obama wasn't a U.S. citizen. Well, he is. Jesus Christ. Seriously. It just seems fucked up. I've got a groundhog that lives underneath my porch. There's always been a groundhog that lives underneath my porch. I'm not killing that thing. No fucking way, man. It's like having a prairie dog. I love them. My neighbors don't like them. I do. I like them a lot. It's not inside my house. It's underneath my porch. You know? If it wanted to come inside my house, it'd have to be friendly. That's the truth. So I don't care. What's the matter? There's probably in beaver dams, there's probably 10,000 groundhogs. So, you know, of course, my neighbors don't like them because it'll screw up the foundation. So, you know, my one neighbor's dog kills them. I'd be really disappointed if I had a dog in my backyard that got the groundhog. I like the groundhog. My groundhog will go in my garage too. So if the dogs come out there, he runs in the garage. You know, it goes from the porch to the backyard to the garage. It's a bitchin' animal. It is. They're like groundhogs. Big fan of rodents. I've always liked them. I have. There's nothing not to like. I don't want mice in my house. It's a bummer that I have to kill them. But that's the way it is. I don't want hantavirus or something. You know? Oh, speaking of that, groundhogs, never touch a groundhog. Don't. It's one of these animals that is a rabies vector, sort of. They found groundhogs with rabies. So it's not as common as finding a raccoon with rabies or a skunk with rabies, but they do get rabies. So just keep that in mind. Don't ever deal with a wild animal. You should call a professional. It's a possum, anything like that. Don't pick it up. Bats, total rabies vector. You know, don't touch that thing. The CDC writes something like if the bat has been in a room with a mentally disabled person or something, you know, a kid, they say you should probably get the person vaccinated for rabies, because you just never know. Rabies is deadly. It is. It's deadly. You know, bats crawling in your child's crib. Go get a vaccine for rabies, or else your kid's gonna turn into a vampire. Fuck bats, man.